Welcome, my dear students. In this particular semester, we will be covering a very interesting subject called electric drives. So, it is a combination of power electronics, which you have already covered in the last semester, and electrical machines. So, when you are applying the waveforms obtained by different power electronic converters in electrical machines and you are controlling the speed of an electrical motor, it becomes an electric drive. So these are the key highlights that what is meant by electric drives. So systems employed for motion control are called electric drives. Systems that are employed for motion control, they are called electric drives. So this term motion control is very important. They are known as drives. So it may employ any of the prime movers such as diesel or petrol engines, gas or steam turbines, steam engines, hydraulic motors, and electric motors for supplying mechanical energy for motion control. So a new term is there, it is called prime mover. So what is a prime mover? So let us draw the schematic diagram of a motor. So this is the armature of a motor. Let this be the field and the armature. The armature resistance is Ra and the field resistance is Rf. Now the part of the machine which is supplying the mechanical energy. So what is the inputs? So it is tau and omega. That means the torque and the speed. So this you are applying by means of diesel or petrol engines, gas or steam turbines, steam engines, hydraulic motors, and electric motors for supplying mechanical energy for motion control. So this is a very important term. It is motion control. So drives employing electric motors are called electrical drives. So it may be a mechanical drive, but our point of concern is electric motors as well as electric drives. So we will be studying the different types of electric drives in this particular subject. So these are the different components or parts of electric drives. So before going into this, let us first understand that what is meant by an electric drive or what are the types of electric drives. If you categorize by the nature of the supply, you will be getting two types. Number one, AC drives. Number two, DC drives. So these are the two types of electric drives. One is the AC drives and another is the DC drives. So AC drives means when the supply you are giving in the machine is AC or modified AC. Why modified? Because this particular waveform you are obtaining by power electronics. So power electronics will give you different types of waveforms. It will not give you a perfect AC or modified AC. It will not give you a perfect DC either. It will give you modified DC. So when you are applying such type of signals to the input of the motor. So on the basis of that, it can be categorized into two types. One is the AC drives, another is the DC drives. So the first stage is the source, which is the input to the motor. Now there is something called power modulator. This is very important. Now what is power modulator? So it consists of two terms. One is power, another is modulator. So whatever power or whatever input you are giving to the motor, that has to be modulated. That has to be modulated. So the modulated power should go to the motor. The modulated power should go into the motor. And using that modulated power, taking that modulated power as input, the motor will drive that load. Now, if we consider only this line, what type of system is that? It is an open-ended system, or you can say it is an open loop control system. But our objective is to control that motor. What we can control? Mainly two things. One is the torque, another is the speed. So these two parameters we need to control. And obviously, if we want to control these two things, what do we need? We need a sensor. We need a sensor. So the motor is connected to the load, or the motor is driving the load, and you have to sense the torque and speed by means of a sensor. So here comes the sensing unit. And the sensing unit consists of different types of sensors which will sense the torque and speed. At taking that input, it will give some output to the control unit. So let the input to the sensing unit be A. So what will the control unit do? The controlling unit, it will take A as input. But taking the input only, it cannot do anything until and unless you set some reference. Until you set some reference. So this input command, it is the reference, and let the reference signal be R. So the control unit will compare this R and A. So if there is a difference between R and A, the control unit will generate a proportionate output based on the difference between R and A, and it will give the signal to the power modulator. That means what it is trying to say? It is trying to say to the power modulator that now you alter your power or change your power exactly proportional to the difference of R and A, so that you can provide that output to the motor, and taking that output as input by the motor, it will give you the desired torque and speed. I hope I made it very clear. That means why this difference of R and A is being created? Because the torque and speed which are being obtained at the output, it is not desirable, or it is rather shifting from the, or it has rather shifted from the desired value, which is not desirable at all. So what we need to do? We need to correct this torque and speed so that you will get the desired torque and desired speed. These things you have to reach. So the difference between this R and A will exist until and unless the value of this tau reaches tau des and this omega reaches the value of omega des. The moment the torque and speed value reaches this desired value, what will happen? The difference will become 0 and the power modulator will not alter anything. That means the power modulator is providing a correct modulated or correctly modulated input to the motor. So your open loop system becomes a very well controlled closed loop system. Let me give you an example. Suppose you are working in a cement plant and there is a mortar in the cement plant. I will rather elaborate this. You are working in a cement plant and there is a mortar denoted by M in the cement plant and there is a churner motor which is churning the chemicals placed in the mortar, and this is a motor. So your task is to control or maintain the torque to 100 Newton meter and you have to maintain the speed at 50 rpm. So your desired torque and speed becomes 100 Newton meter and 50 rpm. Now suppose this voltage which is fed into the motor is fluctuating. So if this voltage V, if it is constantly changing to V1, V2 at different times, so do you think that this torque and omega, that is speed, it will be maintained at 100 Newton meter and 50 rpm? No, never. So this voltage, since it is deviating from the rated value or the desired value, your torque and speed, it should always deviate from the desired value. And for that you need such a control system so that this torque and speed will be maintained at 100 Newton meter and 50 rpm. So your reference input command will be set to tau equal to 100 Newton meter and omega is equal to 50 rpm. Suppose at some point of time your speed becomes omega equal to say 52 and the torque becomes is equal to 99. So the moment such thing happens, this sensing unit will register these values to the control unit and there will be a difference between the input command and the sensing unit output, and there will be a difference signal which is known as the error signal that will be fed to the power modulator, and you will see that this particular thing is corrected to 50 and 100. Such a controlled or closed loop system in which the motor is being controlled as per your requirements, such a system is called an electric drive, or rather a controlled electric drive. So let us come to the different parts of electric drives. So the power modulator. The power modulator regulates the output power of the source. So it is basically a regulator. It controls the powers from the source to the motor in such a manner that the motor transmits the speed torque characteristics required by the load. That means this is very system specific or plant specific. This torque speed characteristics has a profile which is specific to that particular process or which is specific to that particular plant. And the requirement is that the motor should satisfy those requirements. And you have to design the control system accordingly so that that torque speed characteristics is always maintained. So it is very important that the torque characteristics, the speed torque characteristics required by the load, it is very important point. Only then it is called an electric drive. Next comes the power modulator. So during the transient operations like starting, braking, speed reversing, the excessive current drawn from the source. So what is happening? That during transient operations, so what is meant by transient operation? Transient operation means that which is very intermittent time taking. That means it is persisting for very short period of time. So the starting, braking, reversal of speed, during this process what happens? It is persistent for a very short period of time. This time periods I mean to say. And during this very short time period, excessive current is drawn by the source. So this is a very adverse situation. So this excessive current that is drawn from the source, it may overload or it may cause a voltage drop. So this excessive current drawn from the source may overload it, causing a voltage drop. So you cannot simply allow the motor to get overloaded. So if it gets overloaded and the overloading reaches up to a certain level, what will happen? It will damage the motor, which is not desirable at all. Hence the power modulator restricts the source and the motor current. The power modulator restricts the source and the motor current. The power modulator converts the energy according to the requirement of the motor. Example, if the source is DC and an induction motor is used, the power modulator will convert from DC to AC. So it is again the motor specific. So if it is an AC motor and your supply is DC, it will just convert a DC to AC. That means it will act as an inverter. It also selects the mode of operation of the motor, that is motoring or braking. So these are very important terms. One is the motoring, another is braking. So this motoring operation you already know. That means whenever you are giving some supply, whether it may be a AC machine or a DC machine, whenever you are giving a voltage input, your motor is operating. But it may happen that the motor needs to stop at some point of time or slow down at some point of time. Such a process is called a braking. This braking is a very common term which is used during driving of a car. So suppose you have a car and you are driving and there is a traffic signal and the signal goes from green to red. So what you need to do as a driver, you need to push your brakes, and what will happen? The car will slow down. That means its speed will reduce and it will come to stop. That is known as braking. Or it may happen that you are traveling through the highway and you need to change some lane, so you need to alter the speed, and for that you need to push the brakes. So this is known as braking. So there are two types, one is the motoring and the other is braking. So I will stop here for today. See you in the next class.